Last season, the Utah Jazz finished with a 44-28 record, which was good enough for the 6th seed, but they could have easily been the 4th seed, as they were in a 3-way tie for the 4th seed. And all of this has led me to believe that Utah has turned into one of the more underrated teams in the league, because many people have them being one of the lower seeds in the upcoming season, but I think higher of them, and I think they could be better. And this offseason, they re-signed Rudy Gobert to a monster 5-year, $205 million deal, and re-signed Jordan Clarkson to a 4-year, $52 million deal. So in today's video, I'll be discussing how good I think Utah will be next season, as well as their offseason. Please like this video because it makes a huge impact and takes less than 2 seconds. Subscribe to my channel, help me reach 550 subscribers before the end of 2020, and comment on this video to start a short conversation with me, because I respond to all comments. And play that intro. Utah's biggest move of the offseason, which just happened a few days ago, was re-signing Rudy Gobert to a ginormous 5-year, $205 million deal, which makes Gobert the highest paid big man in the history of the NBA. And I think this is a humongous overpay, because Gobert arguably isn't even a top 20 player in the league, and definitely isn't a top 5 big man in the league. Although Gobert is a top 5 defender in the league, he hasn't been as impactful as you would want him, since against teams that use small ball, he could be neutralized. And although Utah clearly overpaid for him, I think it was a move they had to do, since this Utah roster isn't very talented and needed to keep all the good players they have, especially their second player, who is the main reason they're such an elite defensive team. And it wasn't like any big free agents were gonna come to Utah, so I don't think this is a terrible move, but it's definitely not the best. Utah also re-signed Jordan Clarkson to a 4-year, $52 million deal. And I think this is a great move, since Clarkson is one of the best bench scorers in the league, and Utah is a team that needs shooters and creators. I also think this is a bit of an underpay for Clarkson, as $12 million for one of the best bench players is definitely a steal. Utah also signed Derek Favors to a 3-year, $29 million deal, and I think this is a solid move for Favors because he could be one of the best backup bigs, as he brings solid paint defense, good rebounding, and a finisher at the rim. Overall, I think Utah comes out of this offseason as slight losers, as they didn't really improve, and many other teams who they will be competing with have improved. When it's clear they needed to get better, they didn't really get better and get more help alongside Donovan Mitchell. But they're not huge losers since they didn't get worse. Last season was Donovan Mitchell's best season, because he averaged 24 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists on 44% from the field and 36% from the 3. But in the playoffs is where he made the most noise, as in a series versus Denver in the first round, where Denver was heavily favored. Mitchell pushed the series all the way to 7 games and even averaged 36 points per game on 52% from the field and 51% from 3. And in the series, he scored 50 points multiple times. And all of that led me to believe that Donovan is one of the more underrated players in the league, because most see him as just an all-star level player, but I see him as a future top 10 player and a superstar level player. And I think next season could be the year that he takes that leap. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mitchell averaged 27 to maybe even 30 points per game next season. And I think his jump shot will be improved, and he will be more consistent, as well as being a better passer and take on more of a main ball handler role. Bogdan Bogdanovic is one of the more underrated players in the league, as he averaged 20 points per game and shot over 40% from 3 last season. And I feel Bogdan is a top 10 player at his position and will be a solid secondary scorer alongside Mitchell. And I think if he was in that Denver series, Utah would have won that series in maybe 6 games. And I don't think they would have blown the 3-1 lead, because their biggest problem was scoring alongside Mitchell. Mike Conley started off last season horribly and was possibly one of the more disappointing players in the league, since he was expected to be Utah's second option on offense and helped Donovan a lot. And prior to the All-Star break, he averaged 13 points per game and only 4 assists on below 40% from the field. But after the All-Star break, he stepped up his play, averaging 16 points per game and 5 assists on 44% from the field and 40% from 3. So if he could play on that level throughout the whole season, would make Utah a real threat. Utah also has Joe Ingles, who is a really good shooter, who can be a secondary ball handler, and Royce O'Neal, who is a good underrated 3-and-D player. So overall, I think Utah could be a pretty good team, and I see them finishing with the 6th seed in the Western Conference, and I think they could even finish as high as the 4th seed. And even though that sounds like a low seed, I don't expect there to be a huge difference between them and the 5th to 3rd seed. So basically, I think Utah can hang with any teams besides the top 3 teams in the league, and I don't think they're real contenders or even dark horse contenders, but they're just a solid team. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Let me know how good you think Utah will be next season. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel to help me reach 550 subscribers before the end of 2020. And comment on this video to start a conversation with me, because I respond to all comments. Check my Instagram out in the description, and I'm out.